And Major, I know you've been talking to your sources about this. What do we know so far about Kushner's part in Comey's firing?
Kushner was a vocal advocate, but he probably didn't write very much down. I'm told by those familiar with this process there are no White House documents at all from Jared Kushner about the Comey firing, meaning nothing on a White House server. Now, Jared Kushner's attorney, Abby Lowell, is in possession of those documents linked to Jared Kushner's private email account. Those that are relevant to the Comey situation have been turned over to the special counsel's office.
Also on Thursday, the president announced Jerome Powell as his pick for Federal Reserve chair. Was that an expected choice?
Yes, it was. Jerome Powell had been at the top of the list for the better part of a week. What's interesting about this, Elaine, is this is status quo at the Federal Reserve completely. The president does not want to rock the economic boat in any way, shape, or form, likes the stock market where it is, talks about the records that have been set on the stock market, talks about unemployment, talks about the very small but perceptible uptick in wages, and wants everything that the Federal Reserve has done to continue just under new management. No more Janet Yellen. Jerome Powell, who has served on the Federal Reserve Board and has already made it clear to the White House he will replicate Janet Yellen's monetary policy procedures and decisions, gets the nod. What is disappointing to many movement conservatives is that John Taylor, an economist well known in conservative circles at Stanford University, was on the very short list for this post. He may ultimately get the vice chairmanship because that's still vacant, but he didn't get the chairmanship, and many conservatives were hopeful that John Taylor, not Jay Powell, would get the nod.
Finally, Major, President Trump is set to start his 12-day trip to Asia on Friday. His national security advisor talked to reporters about that on Thursday. What has the White House been focused on ahead of the president's trip?
Unquestionably, the issue of North Korea. It is the issue that dominates this trip as it begins. It will dominate it on the first two stops, actually the first three: Japan, South Korea, and China. All of that will be about what to do with North Korea, how to achieve denuclearization, how to get the Chinese specifically to be more aggressive and leaning on the government in Pyongyang to not just stop ballistic missile tests, but to take away their already existent nuclear weapons. And that's going to be a very, very tough ask. That's the White House policy. H.R. McMaster, the National Security Advisor, again made it clear today. The White House position is you cannot contain North Korea. There can be no peaceful relationship with North Korea as long as it possesses nuclear weapons and continues to test and develop ballistic missile technology. So this confrontation is coming. What was interesting about today's briefing, Elaine, is at first H.R. McMaster, the National Security Advisor, said time was running out. Then I asked him, what did he mean by that? He said, we've run out of time. And then very near the end of the briefing, he said, well, give us about 2 or 3 months to try all the things we're doing as far as economic pressure and diplomacy. So we're either out of time, running out of time, or need 2 or 3 months. We hope to get more clarity on that as we travel with the president.
And we wait to see what reaction, if any, Kim Jong-un will have to President Trump's travels as well. Major Garrett at the White House First. Major, thank you.
Sure.